All right, with that, we're moving right into our next session with David from Carro. David, can you hear me?
Hey, how are you doing? Great to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well. Carro has been up to so many amazing things. I'm really looking forward to being able to showcase this tool. It's a tool I talk about with merchants all of the time, and we were just hinting at like acquiring a competitor versus a like complementary product. And sometimes we don't need to acquire a complementary product. We can actually find a way to bring them to our site without any hassle and immediately start making money from selling their products. That's the teaser line for the tool that I'm sure you're about to show us. I'll add your screen here and I'll let you take it away, David.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Well, basically, what I wanted to talk about was, how we're doing with Carro. You've been great at helping us sort of get the word out on what we're doing. The whole idea of this is to build a platform that's really built for brands, designed by brands. That they're always asking us for things that they need, and we're building them right into the platform. So our tagline is "Sell More Together," and the word "together" is the key thing because it really is about the brands that are in our network. What happened was brands, when we first talked to them, they were super interested in attention. If you think about attention, it's like the most expensive thing out there. It's what built Facebook and Google. They sell attention, and brands can never have enough. You'll never meet a brand that goes, "Please, no more attention." They just can't get enough. And so what we did is we started off by thinking about influencers, because social media now has about 60 million influencers, and they have so much attention at their fingertips. What could they do with brands? And so we created the system where you could partner with your influencers. And the way that worked was we'd actually just present the brand's data to them in a way they've never seen it before. We'd literally show them the influences that that really love their brand or that buy their products. It's very common that influencers today are hired through some agency. The brand is paying for 3 really expensive influencers that don't even buy their products. And what we wanted to say was, hold on, like this brand has 7,000 influencers that have bought their products. Why on earth aren't you working with those people first? They love your products. And so that's what we did. And the brands then said, this is amazing, but how do we actually work with them? So we added a little paper airplane. So you click the paper airplane, and it actually sends an invite to the influencer that says, please come in and shop for free on our website. And because they have that special link, we welcome them on arrival, and they literally do get to shop for free. And the way it's done is they literally go in there, find products they want, add them to their cart. But what we don't do is we don't ask for a credit card. So we sort of take over checkout, and you can see here it says $0. So once they get through that shopping process, at the end of it, we really want to be clear to brands that you don't want to treat influencers like billboards. They hate that. So you're telling them everything they need to do. You're moving their hands for them, literally. It's a terrible idea. They're famous because they make incredible content. So let them do that. And what we do here is we just let them tell you what they want to do with the content or the products that you're willing to give them. And there's a checkbox down there for them to give you the rights to use the assets as well. And then, of course, there's that question, are they really who they say they are? So we check with Instagram to make sure they are. And so this is kind of an effortless thing for the influencer. They shop, they tell you what they're going to do. And then we present the results to the brand. These are actual requests from influencers. I've redacted their names. So we've made up these names, but these are actual requests. Here's someone with 600,000 followers who clearly loves this makeup brand, probably is wearing this makeup, doesn't want to work with a whole bunch of other makeup companies, wants to work with this one, saying, can I have these 2 pieces of makeup, which actually only costs $43.90 at retail. And they're saying, I'll do a post, 2 stories, and 2 product reviews. Now, when you really look at it, what is the actual cost of the makeup to the brand? It's around $13. And so for a 600,000 influencer offering to do all this work for $13, as you can see, the brand clicked the approve button. And when they click approve, the order automatically is generated inside Shopify, their e-commerce platform, and shipped out to the influencer. And then they just go on to the next request. And the next request was awesome as well, so they approved that. We've had over $1 million of products shipped out to influencers already using this system. And one thing I just want to say, this is completely free. We don't charge anything for this. Then Facebook has given us special permission to be able to present the mentions as they're happening to the brands, so they can see what these influencers are doing with with their products. And it's the way we do this is we want the brands to be able to see the influencers, and if they really like them, then create relationships, make them ambassadors, do what you want to do. I just want to be crystal clear. Carro is not any kind of agency. We don't try to get between people, like you can't talk to this person. You can work directly with these people, do your own agreements with them. All we want you to do is to discover and work with your best influencers. And Facebook ended up writing a success story on this. So this is, if you go to Facebook for Developers, so we're very pleased about that. So this is the first part. This is like the appetizer of Carro. Again, it's completely free. But during this time, COVID hit, and we ended up, instead of being, suffering from COVID as a company, we ended up growing 500%. So it's been an incredible year. And what we did is we talked to the brands again, and the brands were like, we love this attention stuff, but what we really want is sales. Can you please just get us sales? And so we created this new section which says partner with brands. And what we did is we sort of looked at our network and said, where are we at right now? How big is Carro? And how, what kind of brands do we have? And looking at the data, we have 310 million visitors a month hitting the edge of the network. They've sold $23 billion worth of products, so they're healthy brands. They have over 1 million products between them, and they're adding 1,000 a day, and they have over 7 million influencer connections. So these brands are actually really healthy, and it's a really healthy network already. So what we did is we started to think about, what if we allowed them to do business virtually? So if you think of Carro as being over 34,000 retailers, all facing the public, with over 300 million people hitting the edge of the network every month. That's a lot of attention, a lot of sales happening there. So if you're a supplier, can you push your products to the edge of that network? Like, can you get your products into those stores? If you make a good product, you should be able to do that. And as they're all retailers, they can also pull suppliers' products. So they can look for things in the network that they would like to have. And so this was the idea, as if we could get products to go to the edge of the network, then they get traffic for free. So you're not having to pay for every click and cross your fingers. You're getting as much traffic as you can get from the edge of this network. So we call it commerce to the edge. An example of that would be a bicycle company here. This is State Bicycle. A normal brand, when they're adding products, is always thinking about how much space do I have in my warehouse, and I don't want to end up with lots of gloves, like I bought the wrong sizes or the wrong colors, and so they have to sit there and think hard about what they want to buy. If it's virtual inventory, they can try every pair of gloves in every color and every size instantly today. There's no freight. We're not moving things around before they've actually sold. So the efficiency of the business improves greatly when doing this. So it also allows them to think, what else would I add? So if you're going to do gloves, why don't you do locks? Some of the companies in our network now were responsible for 20 to 60% of their revenue, and they can add locks, socks. They got their gloves. They got shorts, helmets, components. Anything else they want to add, they can just add it all instantly through partnerships within the platform. So just to be really clear on this, if you're a retailer, this is completely new revenue that you didn't have before. You're not buying any inventory at all. You're not using up any warehouse space at all. And you can try sort of products and ideas. Listen to your audience. What questions are they asking you? What are they looking for? Where are they going to go next? What browser tab are they going to go to next to buy the missing pieces that weren't in your store? If you do this, every single metric that matters to you improves. Customer acquisition cost goes down, AOV, LTV, all of these things go up because you're adding more products into each sale. For suppliers, it's cool for them too, because they're getting to work with brands that they love. Because of the way it works, you're not actually having to get into that sort of difficult sort of position with suppliers where you're having to negotiate everything up front and what are the restocking fees and all that. None of that exists anymore. The minute the sale happens at the retailer, the supplier gets paid in real time. So there's no chasing payments anymore. And again, their products are sitting out there getting free traffic. So to make this really easy, the supplier, this would be the glove company, literally just types in one number and says, this is what I'm going to offer as far as margin to the retailers. And obviously the better the deal, the more retailers are going to get. Carro takes 5%. So this is 5% for a whole new way to make money on your site, basically. But that 5%, of course, could be split between the supplier and the retailer, so overall, it's not that material. But the thing that's cool for the customers is nothing changed. So for a customer, nothing changes at all. Checkout is the way it's always been. But behind the scenes, we're breaking the order apart and giving it to the suppliers so they can deliver their boxes to the consumer. And this is something, of course, we're getting much more used to these days. So if the brand needs some ideas, we're actually working on this right now. We're building a full catalog. So this will end up with enormous amounts of products. It's quite a lot of work to do this properly because we're going to have all kinds of different ways to view it. But ultimately, you can browse for things that you think you'd like to try and see if your customers would be interested. For example, if you wanted to add a snowboard, we've literally got it down to one click. So you just click Add to Shopify. It's virtual inventory, so it just appears inside your inventory in your Shopify store, and you can go live with it same day. So it's a we're just constantly trying to make it as easy as we possibly can. What we actually see, though, is brands already know who they like. They don't, quite commonly, they don't need to go look. They already know who they really want to work with, and they introduce them to the platform and say, come and join and we'll work together. Joy is a great example, where they invited a whole bunch of brands in, including BlendJet. And BlendJet was interested in finding ways to get, because they don't have all the milks and things in their warehouse. They would love to be able to collaborate with people who make products that go into blenders. And so they introduced us to a whole bunch of brands, including Oatly, which is an enormous company. So what we're seeing is, a company like Joy will join, and then 20 more brands join our platform because of the relationships they bring to us. It's been incredible. And then it's fun to watch the brands collaborate. So you want to make a date shake? How about Julie's Dates? They're great. And with Joy, you put the two together and you can see they're promoting them on their social media accounts, the same picture on both social media accounts. We love to see that kind of behavior in the network. Pricing-wise, we have subscriptions as well. The subscriptions are actually there based upon how much help you need. So the more help you need, and enterprise companies obviously need the most, we're there for you. So absolutely every step along the way, we're there to help. But I want to be clear, for suppliers, this service is completely free. For influencers, completely free. For brands that want to work with their influencers, free. For new retailers, it's just $50 a month. So it's very easy to get started in this thing and get it going. So that's the main thing. If you'd like to try Carro, again, there's a free trial, so there's no risk in checking it out. You just go to getcarro.com. But because I have a little bit of time left, I'm just going to tell you the next thing that we're going to do.
Yes.
This is in test right now. And what we're finding is that brands, because they're in a network and working with each other, the most valuable real estate on the internet is actually checkout. There's people on Instagram right now, and do you really want to spend money and trouble them and try to get them to come to your website? Or would you like your products to appear, so that the oat milk appears with the blender right in the checkout because you're already partners? And so we're calling this network-based checkout. So a network of brands working together in checkout. And this is something that is live now, but is just in test. So if you would like to have this feature, just join the platform and tell us. So that's it. We're having a lot of fun. Hopefully you've seen some new things, Derek. We're definitely working hard.
That's crazy. Yeah. Congratulations on that new feature functionality component to the business. Definitely. And I assume this is only for Shopify Plus brands. Because you can't modify checkout on the smaller ones.
That's right. Luckily we're Shopify Plus certified, and we also are Sales Channel certified. So there's only 20 of those in the world, and so Shopify has been incredibly supportive.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing is totally brilliant and revolutionary. So I just have this random question for you, which is, who came up with the idea for the brand partnerships tool? What was that meeting like when you guys said, let's make a tool where I can sell that Shopify store product on my store. Like, how did you come up with that? It's brilliant. It's just like
we had a board meeting and we were talking about, hold on a minute, there's an awful lot of people, like a lot of people interacting with these brands. And so this is a really healthy network we have. We weren't really paying attention that much because we were so busy working on the influencer stuff. But when you started to look at it as a group of brands, that's when that conversation started. How can we help them at scale? And in every case, we talk to the brands and they say, we'd really love to be able to do this. In fact, we're trying to do it with Google Sheets and things like that, but we can't sync inventory. We can't sync our metadata. I want to get all these pictures and descriptions across in real time, and they just can't do it. So by making, obviously we have a lot of engineers, so effectively adding these features has been fun because it gets them very excited when they start to see the potential. We've had some C-levels, like in a certain brands recently have invested in our company, but it's like all of the C-level staff at the company invested in us because they saw it working. And that's why it's, that's why we're having so much fun building this.
The congratulations on the growth over the last year and a half. That graph is scary impressive. And for a good reason, because of the tools you've put out there, the free tool being so powerful to just find influencers, and then this brand partnership tool, which is, like you said, largely free in a lot of different ways, and just making the connection. And I have preached to people in the past, like, look, like, what's the best way to drive traffic to my site? I'm like, look, go find a partner, add their product to your page, do a joint like promo, maybe even a giveaway together, and mention how there's a bundled product people can buy. Like it is just like a really solid growth strategy, especially for early stage brands.
We see like makeup companies with no brushes, nail polish companies with no remover. It's all over the place. There's partnerships. Anytime your customers ask for something, think to yourself, can I partner with someone to do that? And what is your vision for your brand? If you didn't have to pay for any inventory, what would your brand be? Like, what is your ultimate vision for your brand? Because you can have that now.
Yeah. And what you said was, what tab are they going to open after they buy from your store? I really like that. They're going to another store to buy the next thing. Wouldn't it be nice if that store was your store?
Yeah.
I think Amazon was like, yeah, it is my store. Like Amazon figured that one out, I guess, early on, but we can do that now as small independent brands.
100%. So yeah, this has been great. And the brands are asking us for some really interesting things. So there's more coming. This is really, I mean, it's going to be fun updating you each year as you see all of the features that they're asking come online.
Yeah, and I think everyone heard it here first on the new feature drop. I could even see brands wanting to pay for that checkout space on other brands' sites, or there might be special deals that they want to give for that, because that is the prime real estate. And when somebody adds that at checkout, you know that the only reason they added it at checkout was because it was shown on that widget. Other upsell, cross-sell tools and all that stuff that happened beforehand, they might have stumbled across it on the site and bought there. But in checkout, there's only one way it gets added there.
Exactly. It's super important. And again, they're happy to share it because they're working with each other already.
Yeah. Well, I love to see what you guys are up to, and I can't wait to see the next new innovation from Carro. David, thank you so much for showing us this today.
No, thank you for inviting me. It was great to talk to you again.
Yeah, of course. I'll catch up with you later as well. We'll have a separate conversation.
That sounds great.